Hi everyone. Today I'm going to present my data science experiment 2 on exploratory data analysis using Python. The objective of this experiment is to understand and analyze the dataset before applying machine learning techniques. In this experiment, I perform various operations such as data exploration, handling missing values, grouping, filtering, ranking, and data visualization using stores pre-dataset. Now I will explain each question one by one. So the first question is to import the store CSV file into a pandas data frame and display the first 15 rows. In this question, I have imported the store CSV file into a pandas data frame using read CSV function. Then I display first 15 rows using the head 15 method. This helps us to verify that data set has been loaded correctly. It also gives an overview of the data available. This is the first step in exploratory data analysis. So this is the output. The second question is to display the total number of rows and columns in data frame. So here I displayed the total number of rows and columns using the shape attribute, and it tells us the dimension of the data set. Knowing the size of the data set helps us understand how much data we are working with. This information will be useful before performing further analysis. So through these keywords we are finding the shape and dimensions, and this is the output. The next question is to display the statistical information of the quantitative and qualitative analysis. In this question, I displayed the statistical information of both numerical and categorical column. I use functions like describe and include object. These functions provide details such as count, mean, median, maximum, minimum, and frequency. This helps us understand the characteristics of the dataset. So through which I have displayed the quantity value, the quality value, and the other values as we are seeing. The next question is to find the maximum value of the total column uh, and count with respect to of the value where and the standard deviation of the age column. Here I have calculated the maximum value of the total column, counted the branch columns, and found the standard deviation of the age column. These statistical measures summarize the data. They help us to understand the distribution of law of values. This makes the data much easier to be analyzed. And this is the output. The next question is to increase the value in the price column by 20% and store the result in a new column and updated price. In this question, I increased the price column by 20%, then I stored the updated value in a new column called updated price. This preserves the original data while creating a modified version. It demonstrates how to create a new column using calculations. So through which we have got the output, the prices and the updated values. The next question is to count the total number of null value in the data frame and replace all null values in a numerical column with zeros. Here I have counted all the missing values representing the data frame. Then I have replaced the missing values of numerical with 0 using the fill now function. This improves the quality of the dataset. Handling missing values is an important step before analysis. And this is the output. The next question is to append two new record to the data frame and display the updated frame. In this question, I have added two new records to the existing data frame using the append or concat method. After adding the records, I display the updated data frame. This shows how new data can be inserted into an existing data set. It is useful when new information became available. And this is the output. The next question is to group the data frame by branch and calculate the sum, mean, and maximum of the total column. Here I grouped the data based on branch column, then I calculated the sum, average, maximum of the total column of each branch. Grouping helps compare different branches easily and it provides meaningful business insights. So by this we have found out the sum, mean and maximum value, and this is the output. The next question is to create a new frame from store PRE identify the column with the highest number of missing values, drop it and display the resulting frame. So for this, what I have done is, in this question I have identified the column with the highest number of missing values first. Then I removed the column from the data frame. This reduces unnecessary missing data. Finally, I displayed the updated data frame. The next question is to drop the 10th and 12th row from the data frame and display the updated frame. Here I remove the 10th and 12th row from the data frame. Deleting unwanted rows helps us clean the data, and after removing I display the updated data frame. This is a basic data cleaning operation. Here I will use drop as a keyword, and after dropping the two rows, these are the data set. The next question is to find the frequency count of the unique value in the payment and product line column. Display the value in percentage and sort them in ascending order. In this question, I counted the unique value in the payment add product line column. Then I displayed the result as percentages and sorted them in ascending order. This helps us understand the distribution of different categories. It also shows how which categories occur more frequently. So this is the output. Next question is to display the first n largest and n smallest value of the total column using the n large and n smallest method. Here I have displayed the highest and the lowest total values using the n largest and n smallest method. These functions quickly identify extreme values. This helps analyze the best and lowest transactions. It is useful for business analysis also. And this is the output. The next question is to display the first five and last five record where age is greater than 25 and quantity is greater than 5. And here I have displayed 5 column using lock method. The lock method function is used to access data using column labels. It allows us to use the functions, and rating is greater than 8. Then I displayed the first 5 and last 5 matching records. Filtering helps retrieve only the required data. This makes us analysis more focused. And this is the output. The next question is to display any 5 column using lock method. Here I displayed any 5 column using the lock method. The lock function is used to access data using column labels. It allows us to specify column easily. This improves data accessibility. The next question is to identify whether the value is greater than electronic accessories greater than existing in the product list than using any method. In this question, I checked whether electronic accessories exist in the product line column using the any method. The method returns true if the value is present, otherwise it returns false. This is useful for checking data availability, and this is the output. Next question is to use the apply function to calculate the square root of the column. Here I use the apply function to calculate the square root of every column in the price column. The transformed value will displayed as the output. The apply function performed operation on each value efficiently. It is widely used for data transformation. The next question is to create a name copy of the data frame and permanently remove the payment column from the copy data frame. In this question, I created a copy of data frame, then I permanently removed the payment column from the copy data frame. This keeps the original data frame unchanged, and it is a safe way to modify the data. And this is the output. The next question is to create another copy of the data frame and permanently remove row number 5 from the copy data frame. Here I created another copy of the data frame and removed row number 5. This demonstrates how to delete a specific row. The original data set remains unchanged. Working with copies prevent accidental data loss. And this is the output. The next question is to display the age column from row number 10 to 15 using the iLock method. In this question, I displayed the age column from row number 10 to 15 using the iLock method. The iLock method function selects data based on rows and column position. It is useful for positional indexing. This helps retrieve specific record easily. And this is the output. The next question is to find the mean, median, and mode of the rating column. Here I have calculated the mean, median, mode of the rating column. These are called measures of central tendency. They help summarize all over ratings in the data set. This gives a better understanding of the data distribution. The next, and this is the output. The next question is to rank all transactions based on the total amount in descending order and create a new column named sales rank. In this question, I ranked all the transactions based on the total amount of descending order. Then I stored the ranking in a new column called sales rank. The ranking helps identify the highest and lowest sales. This is useful for sales analysis. And this is the output. The next question is to group the data frame by the product line and calculate the total quantity sold, average price, and average rating. Here I have grouped the data by product line, then I calculated the total quantity sold, average price, and average rating. This provides a summary of each product category. It helps to compare the performance of different products. This is the output, and the next question is to create a pivot table showing that average total for each product line across different branches. In this question, I created a pivot table showing the average total for each product line across different branches. Pivot tables summarize large data efficiently. They make compromises easy. This provides meaningful business insights. This is the output. The next question is display the top 10 highest ranking transactions based on the sales rank column. Here I display the top 10 highest ranking transactions using the sales rank column. This identifies the transaction with the highest sales. It helps to highlight the best performing records. Such analysis is useful for decision making. This is the output. The next question is to group the data frame by branching payment method. Calculate the average total, average rating, and total quantity for each group, and display the result in descending order for average total. In this final question, I group the data by both branch and payment method. Then I calculated the average total, average rating, and total quantity for each group. Finally, I displayed the result in descending order of average total. This provides a detailed comparison of branch and payment performance, and this is the output. In conclusion, this experiment helped me understand the basic concepts of exploratory data analysis using Python. I learned how to explore, clean, filter, group, rank, and summarize data using pandas. These techniques helps us understand the dataset and prepare it for machine learning and data analysis. Thank you.